Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for those who are new here, this is another episode of Let's Talk About It. And before we go further, kindly click the subscribe button and let's get straight to the video. So today we'll be talking about conflicts, and about conflicts today we will be talking about solving conflicts. You'll bear me witness that conflicts are the most complicated but yet the most simplest to handle. And why do I say that conflicts are the most simplest to handle? I'll give you a secret as to why. So the secret that most of us never know, or we never realize, is that there must be a third party in every conflict. For a conflict to occur between two individuals, or between two organizations, or between two parties, there must be always a third party that is promoting the conflict. And most of the times, this conflict that is caused by the third party goes too far, that they blaze into a conflict that is so difficult to handle. But the secret is so simple. There is always a third party that is promoting the conflict. So, when two individuals are arguing, most of the time they tend to blame each other. But do you know that neither of them is the cause of the conflict? This is why. There is always that one reason or that one cause as to why these two people are arguing. But most of the time, they tend to blame one another that you are the cause of the conflict. But neither of them is usually the cause of the conflict. When I mean by a third party, I mean there must be a reason, there must be an influencer rather, that is causing the conflict to occur, or that is causing the both parties to argue or to blame one another. So how do they solve the conflict? It is simple, by them finding the third party. And this third party, I mean by them finding the root cause of the conflict, or by them finding the root cause of the argument. Once the third party is found, that is usually the secret in every conflict. Then the proof is established. Now the conflict is solved and harmony is restored. What do I mean by this? When you find the root cause of the conflict or the influencer of the conflict, then you are able to solve, you are able to talk, and harmony is restored. I'm going to give you a very interesting example that is going to simplify what I'm talking about today. I'm going to give you a very interesting example that relates to most of us in our cases, or it's in real life situation. I'm giving you an example about a daughter, a husband, and a mother-in-law, or rather a wife, a husband, and a mother-in-law. So my example here goes like this. The mother-in-law complains to the daughter about the husband's income, and then her wife takes the complaint to the husband. The husband now interprets the information in the wrong way. Then what happens? The both of them get into a conflict. Have you gotten my example? The mother-in-law complains to the daughter about the husband's income. In return, the wife takes the complaint to the husband, and the husband misinterprets the information, and by the end of the day ends up getting upset. And then what follows later? The two of them ends up getting into a conflict. Now when they get into a conflict, the third party, who in this example is the mother-in-law, tends to go unnoticed. And the two parties will keep arguing and arguing and arguing, blaming each other that this is what you told me, and the wife will be, no, this is what I meant. The two parties are already arguing, but the main root cause of the conflict is nowhere in the picture, or is nowhere in the argument. So in this case, how will both parties be able to solve their conflict? They will be able to solve their conflict by identifying the third party and establishing a proof of the influence caused by the third party. Once that is done, peace is restored because the issue is solved. Once that the both husband and the wife are able to understand the influence that is caused by their mother-in-law, they'll be able to sit down, the two of them, they will be able to discuss and come into an agreement, and they will restore peace. And that is how they will never argue about the same, no matter the kind of influence that the mother-in-law brings into their marriage. They'll be able to talk about it. They'll be able to always see the third party. They will be able to see the root cause of it, and if it's the influence, they will be able to know how to go about it. For instance, once the cause is established, next time when the mother-in-law brings such kind of an influence, the wife will be able to know how to give the information to the husband, and the husband will be able to interpret it in the right way. And once that is done, there will never be a conflict. So that is my interesting part of why conflicts tend to be the most complicated, but yet the most simplest to solve. I really hope that you will be able to solve your conflicts in a simple way, because I always believe that you can solve every conflict by talking about it. You don't have to shout at each other, you don't have to call each other names, you don't have to throw words at each other, but you can always sit down like two mature people and solve your conflict. I hope that you'll be able to identify a third party that is promoting or influencing your conflict. Be it be between two workers if you're a manager in a workplace, be it be between the manager, and the casual worker. I hope you'll be able to identify the root cause of your problem. For instance, if it's an argument between the manager and the casual worker, that maybe the manager is interested in the casual worker, but the casual worker does not have the same interest, I hope that they will be able to find that the root cause of their conflict is the interest that they're not sharing, and that they'll be able to respect each other's personal space in the workplace, and by that they'll be able to solve their conflict, and be able to work in harmony. So I hope that you always know how to handle your conflicts, and I hope that you will not be able to take the situations too far, because nowadays a lot of conflicts are leading to in so bad actions that we are coming to regret later. So I hope that we don't reach there. I hope that we be able to find a mature way and and be able to solve the conflict harmoniously by identifying the third party, or rather by identifying the root cause of the problem, and being able to talk about it, and being able to discuss about it harmoniously, and being able to understand one another, and of course being able to avoid the same occurrence in next conflict or in the next season of life, or whatever that you'll be handling. So I really hope that you always carry that in mind, that there is always a third party, and once you find the third party in that conflict, then your conflict is solved and peace is restored, and there follows harmony. So as we approach the weekend, I hope that you always be able to find that party, and that you will be able to solve your conflicts in the easiest way possible. I want you to always carry that with yourself, that in every argument that you are having with your partner, or in your organization, or at your workplace, that there always must be a third party involved, And once you find that third party, then the solution is found. Until next time, kindly click the subscribe button. See you.